Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. The devastating tight end stardom situm is here. Sleazeball here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you guys are new, smash that subscribe, smash that like down below. Help you out a lot. If you guys have any questions, comments, as always, I'll try to answer them as fast as I can as I go through all the content I'm going through. And I will give you a green, yellow, and red bar. Green stardom, yellow, little iffy on the flex, and red, obviously, situm. And it's been so hard to even think about doing tight ends, so we're just going to flip a coin, and we're going to call it as they go. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. We're going to use a little knowledge here, but, I mean, it's going to be, at the rate it's going, it's super tough to call these, but I'm going to try my best here on tight end. We are going to start off with game one, the Cardinals coming to the Niners' house. So, I had George Kittle on situm last week. Kittle popped off. Now Ayuk is back. So, I mean, I think this game could get out of hand early, and the game script will, be full run with CMC, Elijah Mitchell. I said the same thing with the Cowboys last week. The Cowboys just had one of those games. I don't think the Niners are going to have that game. Now, Zach Ertz is going to be green. The Niners struggle versus the tight end, but yeah, I feel like they're just showcasing him. He's seen so many targets. He just hasn't produced the yardage or a touchdown or anything, but he's seeing massive targets. And at the rate of the tight end position, that volume is king. So I'm going to leave Zach Ertz as it. Start him this week. Monday night thriller in New York. The Seahawks tight ends are non-existent. I mean, I think Noah Fant had a showing of one game like 50 yards, and then he's done 0, 0, 0. Disley 0. I mean, they have so many wide receivers. I don't think you'd ever even play one of these tight ends. Heading over to the Giants. This is my bold prediction. The number one scoring tight end is bouncing back, Darren Waller. So I saw a couple tweets that he was open 14 times in that game, and Danny Dimes didn't see him, and he also overthrew him like by 5 yards, and Darren Waller 6'5". I don't know if it was just one of those games for Danny Dimes or what it was, but Darren Waller is an elite tight end. And the Seahawks defense is very leaky. This should be a smash play with the volume that the Giants are going to have in the passing game for Darren Waller this week. Heading over to Indy, the Rams are traveling down to meet the 2-1 Colts. This is kind of a bold call for the Colts, but I'll start with Tyler Higbee. Tyler Higbee put up 7 points last week, which is phenomenal for the tight end position. Still no Cooper Kupp. The volume is going to lead towards him more in this game. The Colts' weak spot is their linebackers versus the tight end. They are a great run-stopping team, and they have great corners to stop on the outside, but they struggle versus the tight end. They're number 2 worst right now. This should be a smash play for Higbee, and I think he finds the end zone, which is super bold to call for tight ends this year. But I think Higbee finds and scores this week. Now, the game script flip goes right back to the same thing. Kylen Granson, I don't have an N on his name. It's Kylen Granson, says Kyle. But Kylen Granson should see good volume in this game for the same reason I gave you. The Rams struggle versus the tight end usually, even though on Monday night, Irv Smith was a ghost, but they fed Jamar Chase like it was Jamar Chase's coming out party, but he's, it was just crazy. I do think Kylen will see targets this game. I think that they'll try and cover up Pittman. Josh Downs has looked a little good. Kylen Granson should see some targets this game. I left Jelani Woods in red there for you as well. He is coming off the IR. I was super high on Jelani Woods coming into the season. He's a absolute 6'7" freak of nature, red zone beast. He's super hard to cover. Should be someone you're looking at on your waiver wire right now. Old Tennessee, man. So the Titans and Bengals game, the Titans defense is awful versus the pass, right? They stop the run. That's what they do. Irv Smith was a ghost, like I said last week, but again, I think it was a Jamar Chase game. The Titans are really bad versus the tight end, also bad versus wide receivers, pretty much all around bad in the passing game, period. Irv Smith should be like a 4 or 5 point with a possible touchdown in this game. He's actually super athletic. He's just getting, put behind T. Higgins and Chase. That makes sense. I get that, But I think Irv Smith is a decent play at tight end with how the position is going right now this week. Now, heading over to the Chig side, Higbee just ate them alive for 70 yards. This is the smash Chig. I'm going to put him as a stardom on my Twitter tight end this week. I'm hoping that he can get open 100% this week and make something happen. He's been a terrible. I was super high on him coming in. It hasn't been good so far, but the Titans offense is just hard to watch. But the volume should be there. They should be behind in this game. They should be passing more. I like Chigakonkwo as a stardom tight end this week. The Broncos go to Soldier Field. The Broncos tight ends, man. Adam Troutman. I took this one stab like week 2 saying he was going to get 10 points. I don't think he's got a target since, man. They miss Greg Dulcich a ton. They made a bad mistake even in the preseason thinking that it was going to be Adam Troutman as a better tight end. That's not true. You need the package of Joker coming around, Greg Dulcich. He'll be back next week off IR. Another guy like Jelani Woods, you should be paying attention to a tight end with how bad the tight end is killing everyone. Now, Bears, Cole Kmet. This is going to be a stardom tight end for me on my tweet post coming with this video. The Denver Broncos just got a 70 bomb popped on him. I know Justin Fields has been bad, but if there was ever a game that Fields is going to bounce back, this is the one. I mean, Cole Kmet saw great volume in the first 2 games, and then last week got shut down. I mean, the game was out of hand before it started. But I like Cole Kmet as a stardom this week. Taylor Swift is coming to town for the Jets game. Travis Kelce, obviously a must start. I mean, every week, there's really nothing to talk about here besides the Taylor Swift that won't stop all over my social media feeds 24/7. For the Jets side, you should be selling every piece if you own any piece of the Jets until anything changes with Zach Wilson. If you've seen any of my other videos, I've been saying sell Breece Hall since week 1, sell Garrett Wilson since week 1, and look, nothing's happened. This offense is absolutely terrible to watch. There's no way I'm putting anyone in the green anytime soon for the Jets if Zach Wilson's playing quarterback. Interesting play here, guys. Interesting play. The Commanders are going to the Eagles. Philly is number 1 worse versus the tight end. Logan Thomas was the second highest targeted tight end through weeks 1 and 2 till he caught the touchdown pass early in the second quarter and got knocked out of the game with a concussion. He should pass concussion protocol. I haven't seen the full update, but I'm sure he already missed 1 week, so he's going to be back this week. This is going to be a smash stardom play for me on my Twitter post. Again, just like I do after every video. I think he's going to see 8 to 10 targets this game. This is their weak spot. Slay will be on McLaurin. Jahan Dotson's been a ghost of himself. Antonio Gibson keeps fumbling the ball 24/7. So I think Logan Thomas is going to be a great value here, especially if you're DFS or whatever. I like Logan Thomas a ton this week. Saints and the Bucks. The Saints tight ends are non-existent. I could have put Jimmy Graham up there, but the guy played like 7 routes and caught a touchdown in the red zone. That's not volume you're looking for. Jawan Johnson's been a ghost of himself. Taysom Hill has 2 points last week. They're not using him like they should. It's super hard to play any Saints. Man, even the running backs are struggling. But I mean, I'm staying away from all Saints tight ends. Bucks side, I had Cade Otton as one of my huge sleepers last week versus the Phillies' number 1 worst defense versus tight end. It didn't pay off. But Cade Otton is the number 1 snap share tight end. He is on the field at 97% rate, and volume is king, man. You want that. I still think and the Saints are very good versus the tight end, so I'm not going to put him in green. But I love the volume that Cade Otton gets out there on the field. I think it's going to start to click with Baker here soon. I mean, he's not even finding Godwin either. It's all been Mike Evans. So he's got to start to spread it out sometimes. They're going to start to key on Evans here, and Cade Otton and Godwin should, feed off it a little bit. And the tight end position needs something. So something to keep your eye on. I'm not on a stardom, but he is in the yellow for that reason. Heading on down to Cleveland. I'm putting both these guys in green in a grunge match because I believe the run game will be non-existent in this game. Mark Andrews did have a bad game last week versus a very easy opponent and should have smashed. I feel like Lamar Jackson is going to realize that here, and it's time to feed the beast. Mark Andrews is going to have a big game. And for David Njoku, it was Elijah Moore and Amari Cooper with 17 targets versus his 4. I mean, they got to find this guy in the red zone. Baltimore's numbers will show you that they're very good versus the tight end, but the competition they played at tight end through the first 3 weeks is not anybody even half, as good as Njoku or half as anything. It's not great. So don't let that number skew you if you see red on your roster or something. David Njoku is still out there 84% of the time on the field of snap share. He's going to bust one here soon. I can feel it. This is the game I'm going to put Njoku as a stardom also. And Andrews is always a starter no matter what. Pat Freiermuth is alive, guys. The 0 and the 0. He got a touchdown. He popped off, but it's versus the Raiders. And everyone comes back to life versus the Raiders. That's just how it happens. Look at my cat in the back of the video just making noises. I like Pat a ton this week versus the Texans. The Texans actually give up a lot more yardage than most teams versus the tight end right now. And Pat Freiermuth has one more week till Deontay Johnson comes back. And then it'll be another spread out, and I'll be worried about Pat. But Pat saw 100 targets last year and came off to a very slow start with all and Kenny Pickett hype was happening. I don't really know how good the Steelers' offense is. So, week 1, they played the Niners. Week 2, they played the Browns. Those are great defenses, and they did absolutely nothing. Then they got the Raiders. Najee Harris still did nothing, but Pat Freiermuth came alive, and George Pickens got a touchdown. But that's the Raiders' defense. Texans' defense is better than the Raiders. I'm still kind of skeptical here, but I'm going to put Pat as a go green this week. Dalton Schultz, man. CJ Stroud looks incredible for a rookie. I mean, he looks absolutely incredible. The amount of money that they paid Dalton Schultz, I just can't put him in red. Like, he's got a $9 million contract. They've got to start to use him. He got 1 point last week. It's embarrassing. And they're passing the ball at such a high rate. I don't understand why, if he's not open or what's going on. I haven't really watched the full film on the Texans games yet. But man, Dalton Schultz is such a good, remember him with Dak? This guy's always open. So I'm still leaving him as a yellow. You could play him. I'd still say he'd be a top 15 tight end this week. I'm going to say Dalton Schultz is playable, even though I have him in yellow. Raiders. Why did they even draft Michael Mayer? Why? I don't understand. All red for the Raiders. I don't even want to talk about it. I think they have 3 targets through 3 games for the tight end position. It's been all Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers week 1. The rest is not good. Now, heading to the Chargers side, Gerald Everett should not be on anyone's team at all. He's done nothing all year. Donald Parham Jr. and Mike Williams, don't forget, just went out for the season. You'll probably see more Quentin Johnson and Josh Palmer, but Donald Parham Jr. is tight end 6 right now in the year with 3 touchdowns. If you'd have told me that at the beginning of the year, I would have lost my mind. And he's actually getting the play time. So I think he's going to take this job from Gerald Everett. I know they're splitting hairs right now at 56-44. I think that's what I saw. But Donald Parham is younger, making plays. Gerald Everett looks so slow and sluggish. I think he's coming to an end. I hate to say it, but Donald Parham should be not on your wire because this position is so hard to get any points, and he is balling. The shootout game in Buffalo. Dalton Kincaid is not being used like the preseason hype that everyone said. But in this game right now, I'm going to put Dalton Kincaid as a must-start tight end, basically because you have to keep up with the Dolphins, okay? And keeping up with the Dolphins is going to take 40, 50 points at this point. This offense looks unbelievable. Dalton Kincaid has to get in there at some point, and I'm going to leave Dawson Knox as playable too because I feel like the fireworks are going to fly in this game. So I'm going to go start him on Dalton Kincaid and a iffy play on Dawson Knox if you don't have anybody. He could find the end zone too. Now heading to the Dolphins, Durham Smythe hasn't done much on the season, but he has ran the 3rd most routes for tight ends, and he is literally the highest snap share on the field tight end, tied with, second behind K. Dotton, 96% to 97%. So you love volume. He's always out there. The problem is that they always look at Tua and Waddle. But again, this is a bigger game for the Dolphins. Playoff implications, record down the end of the stretch. This is a huge game for them. If the Bills go on a run, they want to get this win with emphaticism. And you never know. Durham Smythe could be a dart throw play here in a high-scoring game. The 6:30 game a.m. If you still think that you're going to draft Kyle Pitts in the 4th and 5th round and get amazing production, you're just out of your mind. The update that the Cowboys are looking into Kyle Pitts will save his career. It is so bad in Atlanta. You can't even trade him. Nobody wants this guy. Nobody wants to start him. You don't even want the hassle of having him on your roster. He's so talented. He's in the wrong system. I seriously hope that Dallas makes a trade for him. That's the only reason I'd hold him right now. So I've seen him dropped in competitive leagues right now. That is how bad it is going for Kyle Pitts. Evan Ingram, on the other hand, is outdoing everything I said in the preseason. I thought that he would be fourth on the totem pole, not get the same usage. He's tight end 8. He's averaging like 8 points a game. It's very good. I mean, I can't argue that. Zay Jones was out last week, so he got a little more volume. But either way, even with Zay Jones, he still had a big week 1. So Evan Ingram right now is always a must-start tight end at this rate. And the Jags got to figure it out here. They got to get this win, 100%. The Pats versus America's team. If you didn't listen to me last week, Jake Ferguson, I said, go get if he's on your wire. Jake Ferguson looks really, really good. He is the new Dalton Schultz for Dak. 100%. Start him every week at the rate. Even week 1, he played like 30 snaps and saw like 45% target share on the snaps. Dak loves his tight ends. Jake Ferguson should not be on any wire, 100%. Now, Hunter Henry was tight end 1 for the Patriots through 2 weeks. Then last week they got the Jets, and that was a full-out, run-out game. They ran the ball 40 times between Zeke and Ramondre, or like 36, whatever it is. That is not going to be the case here with the Cowboys game. This is going to be the Patriots possibly behind by maybe 2 scores, having to pass more. Hunter Henry will get his volume back. Mac Jones will have to look for him, and I like Hunter Henry as a stardom this week. The Thursday night rookie battle with Iowa U, Sam Laporta versus Oregon State, Luke Musgrave. Both of these guys have been super impressive for rookies at tight end. It is crazy. Sam Laporta is leading the NFL in receiving yards for tight ends. He dropped 20 points last week. He is a must-start, all-around baller tight end. Run blocking, pass blocking, routes, catching. I mean, you can't even buy low on him now with how bad the tight end position is. I don't think you buy him at all unless you pay up for him. So Sam Laporta will always be a starter. I have him as my 5th tight end ranked right now. So I'm all about Sam Laporta. He looks great. Luke Musgrave, coming off a 7-point game, could have caught a touchdown in the end zone too, missed him by a little bit. He looks amazing. Both these rookies look really good. These are guys you should be targeting if they're on your wire. They should not be. They are putting up more points than the stud tight end. Like Luke Musgrave has more points than Mark Andrews. Like, think about that for a second. I know Mark Andrews missed a game, but Mark Andrews had 5 points last week and Musgrave had 7. So with how bad the position is, these guys are both must starts every week at this point. The number 1 tight end, TJ Hawkinson, another Iowa U. Look at Sam Laporta and Hawkinson. Iowa just brings the tight ends. Kittle, everybody. Doesn't matter. So TJ Hawkinson, always a must start, and he gets the Panthers. I mean, not much really to say here. He's got 36 points on the year with one big 28-point, or 43 points on the year with one big 26-point game, which TJ Hawkinson always has one blow-up game. Now, Hayden Hurst, now that Bryce Young is back, so last week Andy Dalton stepped in and he fed all the wide receivers. So when Bryce Young was in, he was looking more at Hayden Hurst. Hayden Hurst didn't even get looked at last week with Andy Dalton, the quarterback, which is crazy. Minnesota is terrible versus the tight end. This should be an absolute smash Hayden Hurst play game right here as I get the hiccups with Bryce Young back. So, I mean, he said he practiced limited today. And, I mean, this could be a high-scoring game for the Vikings where the Panthers are just straight behind passing the whole time. And Hayden Hurst, I like him for like 6 or 7 targets this game, man. I like him a lot. He's going to be one of my start plays on my Twitter as well this week. And that is it for my stardom, sit-em, tight end, guys. As best as I could knowledge break it down for the hardest position in football, it has been brutal. I mean, I don't even have a tight end that's balled out yet in any of my leagues, but I didn't go for like high draft tight ends. But as always, guys, if you like the content, like and subscribe, help your boy out a ton. I will only be doing shorts from here on out. I've done all my, stardom, sit-ems, all my ranking videos. I'll do a couple shorts here and there, and then I will be live for the Thursday night game tomorrow, Sunday night morning, or 2 hours before kickoff, possibly the Niner game, and then Monday Night Football. And we could talk out lineups, trades, drafts, whatever you guys want to talk about. I love talking fantasy football. Thank you guys for watching. I will catch you guys next week on these big videos, but I'll do a couple shorts. I'm out. Peace.